Hello, Algebra 1. So this is for Tuesday's work, talking about solving a quadratic by graphing or by factoring. Okay? So if we're trying to graph, we can graph different forms. We talked about this yesterday. We have our standard form, we have vertex form, and we have factored form. So whenever we're graphing, we want to graph our quadratic, and our solutions is what does x equal. So when we're solving our linear equations, it was real easy to solve. Quadratics can be a little bit more complicated depending on the equation. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways. Graphing is the easiest way if it works. It won't always work, and I'll show you why. But when we look for our solutions, we're looking for our x-intercepts. Solutions, x-intercepts, roots, zeros all mean the same thing. So looking at a graph, where does it cross our x-axis here? It crosses at 1 and it crosses at -5. So we have two solutions, x equals 1 and x equals -5. So let's take a look at another example. So we were to graph this one. Where does it cross the x-axis at? Well, it doesn't actually cross all the way through it. What happens is it just touches the x-axis. So this one only has one solution at x equals 5. So that's possible. It could have two solutions, it could have one solution, or it could have no solutions. So here's an example of one with no solutions. We can tell that because it does not cross the x-axis at all. But that doesn't mean we can't solve it. It just means we can't solve it by graphing. There's going to be other ways you're going to learn about. But for today, we're just going to say there's no solution. So if the equation was written in factored form, you could graph it the same way. So graph it, look at where does it cross the x-axis. So it crosses at -2 and 1. But can we do that without graphing? Well, if it's already factored, it's real simple. Just look over here at the equations. What you're going to do is you're going to split these two up and put each piece equal to 0. This is called the zero product rule because to multiply two things and get an answer of 0, one of them has to be 0. So we can set x minus 1 equals 0 and solve for x. So x would equal 1. Or we can do x plus 2 equals 0, solve for x, and find that x equals -2. Real simple, look at the sign. It just changed signs. That -1 becomes +1, +2 becomes -2, -2, +1. Those are our solutions. Remember when we were looking at the transformations yesterday, and we moved the graph to the left, but it was positive? So moving our x-intercept to the left makes it a +2. Moving that x-intercept to the right makes that a -1. So hopefully you can make that connection and see. So what do you think the solutions would be for this? Well, since they're the same exact piece, this can be rewritten as x plus 3 squared. So that is the same solution twice. That's why we only have one real actual solution. So we can actually do it. X plus 3 equals 0. X plus 3 equals 0. Find our solution is x equals -3. So, or this number, change signs. So that is two ways you can solve a quadratic: by graphing and looking at on the graph where it crosses the x-axis, or without the graph, where does it cross, where would the x-intercepts be, by looking and using the zero product property. And we'll talk about a couple more ways tomorrow, but make sure you complete the assignment. There will be a Google form following this video.